Hello, beautiful people. Welcome again to another episode of Her Talk. I am your host, the lovely BP, and I am here with Cassie, who is the owner of Village Sis Doula. Thank you so much, Cassie, for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm so ready to get this conversation started.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes. So if you all don't know, this woman here is prime real estate in the city of Greensboro, also in the city of Winston, triad area all over. And what she does is she provides a service to women, especially women of color, who need to be informed about infertility, who need to be informed about fertility, and who need to be coached on how to bring these beautiful babies into the world. So she has her beautiful daughter with her today.
I do, yes. I have my 7-month-old baby girl, Amira, and she loves her golden milk, and that's what I teach to my clients. Yes, the power of golden milk, and also to have your babies with you, that love of having your baby along with you. And thank you so much for having me today.
Of course. So let's get into who is Cassie.
Yes.
And what made Cassie want to come to this industry of being a doula?
Yes, well, I'm a mother myself. I love my baby girl here. Yes. She is beautiful. And I'm also a fertility doula, like you mentioned too as well. So as my expertise as a fertility doula is how I have beautiful Amira here too as well. But birth work, I would say, there's a story behind that. I would say womb health, healing your womb. What does that look like? And for me, it's really sitting down with myself and saying, okay, what is it that truly serves me? And that support of your inner health and your outside health. What is feeding you from an internal perspective and also external perspective, right? I have a 10-year-old son. That birth experience was traumatic for me. I didn't know my choices. It wasn't what I would consider the birth experience that I wanted. Okay. And then through life, through academic and through my profession, the stress, especially as it relates to a Black woman, all the stress and pressures that are on us. So birth work is very important as it relates to physically birthing a child, but also birthing that life within inside of you with that village support. And it truly takes a village. You're my village sis, right?
So our village sisters.
Yeah, so reaching out to your village and saying, yo sis, I need your support, right? So you have different types of doula. You have a birth doula, fertility doula, bereavement doula, postpartum doula. But that word doula, from my understanding of what it has been, not only for me and for the people in my village, is that doula is that support. A doula is someone who provides physical, emotional, and spiritual support. And most importantly, with Village Sis Doula is the education, right? So doula work is something I consider very spiritual and a very intimate relationship with someone. So what brought me in birth work was becoming a mother and also my own ongoing healing journey, right? Like I said with you earlier, I was like, sis, I'm still learning. Life is life and I still learn through it, but you don't have to learn through it alone. Having that village of support of someone you can call on and lean on, but also learning through life, what I've learned with her is that vulnerability, being open, right? There's a certain type of strength comes along with being vulnerable and asking for that help. Superwoman, my superpower that I'm learning and building in is being able to be vulnerable and ask, right? So defined as I'm that superwoman, my superpower has changed and evolved with life with asking for that help. Leaning into my village and leaning into that vulnerability. So my journey into birth work came from my life experiences.
Awesome.
Yes.
I want women to really listen to this interview and really learn from it because, as she stated, birthing is a journey in itself. And a lot of times we as Black women, we do not get the adequate health care that we need during our pregnancies. We feel very rushed through the process. A lot of times when you get in a hospital, they don't give you the opportunity to to follow your birthing plan. And if you don't have an advocate or a strong person per se that can really relate to these doctors and speak their terminology, they will give you an epidural before you know it and have you in a C-section, all because it pays more money. And they don't give you the opportunity to do what your body can naturally do, which is birth a child. So let's get into this. Do you have to have a lot of education to become a doula? And I know that there's a difference between a doula and a midwife. Could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, right? There is a difference between a doula and midwife. A doula, we do not provide any type of medical services. I do not catch babies, right? Doula should not be catching babies. A midwife is medically trained to provide those services from a medical standpoint. A doula provides that emotional, physical, and spiritual support and the education to allow what options are available for you. I love that you spoke of a birth plan. So with Village Sis Doula birth plan, we have options A, B, C, and D because you really don't know what to expect with the birth, but the education is very important so you understand what your options are, understand informed consent. I don't advocate for my clients, but empowering my clients to advocate for themselves through their conversations with their medical team and also the choices that they have, not only the birthing person, but the partner too as well. So how to be able to support and empower them throughout the process. So the difference between a doula and a midwife. A doula does not provide any type of medical services, right? But a midwife, they're trained from a medical standpoint providing the medical aspect of doula care. So in my opinion, I think it's a beautiful thing to have a doula present to fulfill that role and also a midwife present as well to fulfill that role. So there's a beautiful relationship that can be formed with having both of those on your team throughout your birthing journey.
Oh, wow. Awesome, awesome. So speaking of that, are there any, I would say, what is it, doula and midwife of color, like combo, I don't know what you want to call it, like combo business ventures that have occurred in the triad where people are really getting together and forming this united front so that these babies can be brought into the world more healthier?
I'm glad you brought that conversation because recently was Black Maternal Health Week.
Okay.
And there was a beautiful conference close here in Greensboro where we are really speaking as it relates to Black maternal health, right? The statistics here are, as it states, Black birthing individuals are 3 to 4 times more likely to die due to pregnancy complications. It doesn't matter where you live or how much money you make. You can, look at Beyonce's birth story, Serena Williams. They have money, right?
Yeah.
A lot of those issues. Hey, beautiful baby girl. She wants to talk so much right now. But looking into Black maternal health, right? And how, hey. And as I was mentioning, why is that, right? You have medical bias, structural racism, just the history here as it relates here to in America, right? But you have spoken about midwives of color and doulas of color, right? There needs to be more midwives. There's not enough midwives of color, right? So there are initiatives being put in place to really allow more midwives of color to be trained in that area. It's not easy, right? For that, navigating in the health and medical space is, from a professional standpoint, is not easy, and there's different barriers as it relates to that. But there is work and efforts being done. So, also to summing up, we need more birth workers. We need more midwives of color. We need more representation in these spaces. Because even for me, I had a Black doctor. We're giving birth to my beautiful baby here, and I felt safer to have my sister beside me, right? Having that relationship. I will say too as well that yes, I was blessed to have a Black doctor and I had a Black midwife, but also being able to have that relationship with your birthing team is very important too as well, regardless of what they may look like, but also being able to have that trusting relationship that you have with your birthing team. So yes, there are initiatives being made to have more diversity as it relates to Black birth workers, Black midwives, but we need more. We need more birth workers. We need more Black midwives. We need more Black doctors. We need more support and diversity in that area.
Yes, understandable. So, for some of the girls out there, they probably like, well, look, I got a home girl and a mama that I can just carry into this labor and delivery room, and we're going to get this thing done. And it doesn't always go to plan. I've been in a couple rooms where it just doesn't go to plan. Things happen. So, can my home girl be my doula? Should my mama be my doula?
I'm glad you brought that up because it truly takes a village, right? It takes that village of support throughout the whole journey. Postpartum, where there's events coming up next month as it relates to postpartum, and I'll share with you, I'm partnering with Speak, Move, Change, which my awesome mentor, Shawnee Gibson, but that postpartum journey is last forever with your child, right? You a mother forever.
That's right.
So to answer your question, I would say doula, we're trained specifically. We're trained specifically to provide that support. Training that is important to have, so you understand how to specifically understand how to prepare that birthing individual to during the birthing process, before, during, and after, right? It's also good to have that support, but the doula, their role is that they're specifically trained to provide those guidelines and support that's needed during that time, right? So to answer your question, a doula, they're trained specifically in their role. It's good to have your other village of support team. You need it. But a doula is specifically trained in that role to provide you with the resources and options and allow you to ensure that you have that informed consent throughout your journey too as well.
And personality is very important. I've known my sis here for years. She has been a big help to me and my husband in our multiple business ventures. But she has a very beautiful, calming personality. So you can't have your ratchet hood friend going up in the hospital talking about we gotta have this baby like this and think you're gonna come out with the desired outcome. If that's part of your birthday plan, let's just say don't do it.
Yes, I love that you said that too as well.
Yes, honey. Oh, girl, let me tell you. With my first baby, with my first child, I was 19, and honey, I had both the grandmamas in there, the grandmamas and my child's father. And girl, we was all in there trying to have that baby together as a big team. Girl, honey, I think they moved the doctors out the way.
Oh God.
So that we could push, because I was actually sitting on her head when they had sat me up to do the epidural or whatever.
Okay.
And so they couldn't give it to me because I was actually sitting on her head. So my mom was like, "Move, girl. We need to push. We need to." So she moved the doctor out the way. Move, girl. Move, girl. And we went on ahead and had my beautiful daughter Ashlyn, who is now 22 years old.
Wow,
but
beautiful.
That was hilarious. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this: how much do doula services cost?
Oh, baby girl is just really active. It's part of the village, right?
Part
this
of
is motherhood.
This is okay. This is all right. We are supporting.
So I'm gonna sit Village Baby up here because she wants to talk in this conversation too as well, right?
Yes.
All right. This is part of the village. This is beautiful baby. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to listen to what your village auntie has to ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what is the cost of having a doula, and is it something that's covered by insurance?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question because there's so much going on in North Carolina to have doulas compensated to provide services. With Village Sis Doula, we're working with some as it relates to reimbursement, such as WellCare with Medicaid and also United Healthcare. Statistics show that approximately maybe 60% of Black birthing individuals are provided with assistance through Medicaid. So it's very important to have that accessible for doula care. Specific as it relates to Black maternal health, right? So we're working for that compensation. Birth work, it varies with each provider too as well. With Village Sis Doula, we provide flexible payment plans too as well. We do provide partnering with WellCare with Medicaid, United Healthcare with Medicaid. And in North Carolina, this is something new, right? So it's really going to take a village and community in order for that process for doulas to be financially compensated, what that process look like, and also the understanding of the benefits of what a doula is too as well.
We want to talk about the history of being a doula.
Yes, yes. So there's a rich history as it relates to doula work, specifically as it relates to the Black community, right? Segregation wasn't too long ago when hospitals and things of that nature were segregated. So who birthed our babies? Who births the Black babies in our community? So you had granny midwives, also referred as doulas. These were the individuals who came in the community and assisted with providing birth in the community. For me, one thing that resonated is I have a family member who's born today who went to a hospital to birth their child. And I was like, we don't birth Black babies here, but you can have your baby in the basement. And my family member said, no, I'm going to birth my baby at home. And who provided that assistance for her to birth at home? That granny midwife, that Black midwife, right? So the history of doula work is very rich as it relates specifically to the Black community. One thing that really resonated with Village Sis Doula is bringing that history and our culture back to as well as it relates to our community, bringing that historical piece back, bringing back our culture, and the importance as it relates to village and that support and that community to say, hey, sis, and even our brothers too, providing that support for our brothers and what that look like. So as it relates to doula work and birth work is really rich in our community, and also as it relates to the Black women providing support not only for the Black community, but also we were the wet nurses, right?
Yes, we were.
We provided that love and support for other children outside of our race, right? That maternal love and that motherly love. So birth work, doula work, there's a rich history behind that, and bringing that back. And I love to see that more birth work is being brought to the forefront, and also how important it is for our Black and brown communities too as well.
I think a lot of people are probably like myself. We only heard about doula work on TV through our rich celebrity friends. Call them friends loosely because when you have IG, you think everybody is your friend.
Yes, that's true.
But why do so many celebrities seem to tap into that more natural birthing process than the average person?
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you asking is more celebrities are going more the natural route, right? As I reflect back and look, it seems like things are reversed, right? Where during the hospitals and segregation, you had to birth at home, and then it became the hospital. Now celebrities are wanting to birth at home, and it's unfortunate that it appears that birthing at home is more of a luxury, right? Because it's not. It's more challenging for individuals who say they want to birth at home, right? For me specifically, with Village Sis Doula, if the midwife is present, then I'm there to support, because once again, I do not provide medical care, right? And I want my goal is for my clients to be safe and secure and have that doula support along with midwife care too as well. But it's not easy for everyone to have that type of access and that type of luxury to have that home birth. But that experience of a home birth is beautiful, right?
It is.
The feedback that I'm receiving from clients and from those individuals who have been able to have a home birth, you can. There's an option to have an unassisted home birth too as well. So there are different options, but typically it's not. It typically is more of a luxury to have that home birth, to have that midwife who is trained to provide that support at home. And what are the midwife? Every state has different laws as it relates to home birth too as well. So it's kind of ironic the complexities that are involved to have a home birth. As you look at the history of those individuals who had to have a home birth, and then those now individuals who would like to have a home birth, but then also there are different obstacles that may be in place in order for someone to really have that home birth experience. So there's a lot behind that.
It's a lot behind it. Yeah. I tell you what, I know with my first daughter, I had to be, they had to take me in early or whatever. I don't know. What is that called when they have to give you the medicine to make you have the baby?
induced?
Yeah, I had to be induced.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that process with her. But with my second child, I was able to stay at home till I was fully dilated, totally effaced, and ready to go. Most beautiful experience ever, because if you get to the hospital and you ain't 5 centimeters, they gonna send you back home anyway. So you might as well try your best to, go through that birthing process as much as you can. Have a doula there to support, and then you go head to the hospital once you're ready to go. But just sitting up in the hospital all day, that defeats the whole purpose. It takes away the energy, and it takes away the beautiful experience of knowing your body. But I wanted to ask you this as well. So if somebody would want to be a doula, what is the process for them to get involved?
Yes. And I hear my beautiful baby girl in the background. She's my motivation too as well.
Yes.
The process to do, there's different types of certifications and trainings available if you're interested in becoming a doula. With Village Sis Doula, I do provide mentorship though for those who want to go into birth work, because we need more birth workers who look like us, right? And also to provide that support. So when I first initially started as a doula, providing that support for those individuals to say, hey, this is what may be something that may work for you. And also going to doula work and being able to stand in your power and know that gift that you're able to give to other people. So to become a doula, there's different certifications that you can go into to become certified as a doula. One thing I will say is that each certification program is different. I would say go with a program that supports your perspective of the clients that you want to serve, those different communities. I've trained with 4 different doula certification programs, but not all of those trainings specifically spoke about the community I want to serve, the Black and Brown community. What does that look like? Also trainings that resonated with the Black and Brown community culture and history too, as well as specifically as relates to postpartum care. What is it that our culture had done that has worked? And really bringing in that culture aspect. So to become a doula, you have different certification and training programs. You don't specifically need to have a certification to be to become a doula, but those trainings are very essential to give you that background and foundational piece too as well. Experience is also very important. Every birth experience is different. I'll say that each birth that I was blessed to be part of gave me a different experience too, to provide support for other clients. So to become a doula, there's different training programs, different certification programs. To be a doula is ongoing trainings. I'm in ongoing trainings to be able to fully support my clients in different areas. So there's different routes. Too as well, doula work is a process of ongoing education through hands-on, through training. So doulas, we put that work in, or you definitely put that work in. It's also an energetic piece too as well. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work. So being a mentor to doula, to individuals who want to go into birth work, I say you got to put that work in. It look good on TV, but there's a lot behind the back end of that too as well. But we need more birth workers. So if you're interested in birth work, I invite you, because the village needs you, we need you.
Yes.
Yes.
Quick question. What do you think is the reason, or what do you know is the reason behind our high infant mortality rates and our high maternal death rates? I mean, it seems like it's just getting like more and more out of control as the years go by. It's the numbers are just climbing, and with so much technology, with so much knowledge, with so much access through internet and through people speaking and showing and telling their stories, you would think that this would not be the issue. So if a person selects, hey, I'm not going to have a doula, what are about 3 tips you could give them to advocate for themselves, or things that they should know while pregnant and going through their birthing experience to help them walk out that hospital with their baby and themselves? What should they know?
Yeah.
I know it's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question, so that's how to think about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing, number one, is that, of course, the infant mortality rate as it relates to the Black community, statistics show that we are 3 or 4 times more likely to die due to childbirth complications. It doesn't matter how much money you make or where you live. I give Beyonce and Serena Williams as example. Most of those deaths are 80% preventable too as well. It has increased. Also, the United States has increased, right? And all the resources, like you said here, why? Some of the research states that some of the reasons includes bias in the medical system, structural racism, and having our voice heard. A lot of my clients would say, look, I don't feel listened to. I don't feel heard. I felt like things are thrown at me, not spoken with me. Is it truly informed consent? Am I given all the information to make that informed decision too as well? So, even the village of different people who are in this work that advocate for our babies, our Black wombs. One of my mentors said there would be no Black lives if there were no Black wombs, and that's really deep.
That's right.
Is advocating for yourself. One thing that some of the information that shared with me is to ask, is it medically necessary? To hold accountability. Also, please put that in my medical record. So by having those things written down gives accountability for what has been discussed with me and what is actually going on. And one of my clients said that it was just that simple tool of providing to advocate for myself is medically necessary, what allowed his partner to be out of the bed and be mobile during the birth experience, where their medical provider asked, she needs to get back in the bed. And he said, well, is it medically necessary? He said, no, not really at this time. So that was a way for them to advocate for his wife to be able to be mobile during the birthing experience. So to answer your question, which is a loaded question, which is great, is to understand how to advocate for yourself, asking the question, is it medically necessary? And also putting in record, like, is it on my medical record? What is there? And you have access to those medical records to see if there. So if something does occur, you can say, okay, my record, you stated this or that occurred. So advocating for yourself. Doula is great support to provide you with those resources and information of how to advocate for yourself, your body, your womb, your family.
Yeah, because if you're not feeling heard, the first thing I would tell a young lady, if you're going through prenatal care and you already see that your doctor has some type of bias towards you, or they make you feel indifferent in any kind of way, go get another doctor. If you live in an area where there's more than one OBGYN and one medical facility and things of that nature, because I know some people are in deserts, sort of like food deserts, but hospital deserts and all type of other things, but and may not have that access or can't get to another facility. But if you can, go where you're heard. Don't just take whatever one person says as the answer, because that could very well be the difference between you and your child walking out from having a positive birthing experience, or you both not making it out of the hospital. And that's very, very serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that too as well, because one thing with Village Sis Doula is that we provide virtual services, right?
Oh, you provide virtual services. Okay. Awesome.
So I've had clients in California and Chicago and different areas, so providing that virtual support. Like I mentioned with you earlier, we're not only providing support when you go in the hospital and have labor. What's really big with Village Sis Doula is the education. So we have that virtual support, or even in person, educational aspects of how to advocate for yourself, what's going on with your body, and also how to take care of your overall wellness too as well. What are you eating? What are your diet? And also just checking in, like, how are you feeling? Allowing that safe space for you to share your emotions and your feelings and things of that nature. So yes, another thing you mentioned that really resonated with me is your birth team. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like your voice is heard, that is the option that you have for yourself, is to be able to find and know you have choices of the medical team that serves you. I've had a previous client where, and it's still happening, this is something that wasn't too long ago, where a client, the doctor said, I'm going on vacation. We suggest you have a C-section, right? So at that point, I equip my client with the tools to be able to advocate for yourself and say, that if that's something, that you have options, that you can have that you have options of having a medical team that best supports you. So she was expected to have her baby like in a couple weeks, and really being able to support her, for her to advocate for herself, to have a different medical team to support the birthing experience that she deserved for her and her family. So I love that you state that. Yes, I have my beautiful baby girl in the background. But be empowered to know that you can have the medical team that best support you for your birth experience. And this goes not only for birth work, but in your journey in life. You deserve the best for you and what serves you, right? And being able to advocate and speak for yourself. So these are not only tools that you learn in your birthing experience, but also as a parent to advocate for yourself and for your children. Like, no, I don't feel right with this. What are my options, and what can I do to best serve me and my family?
Exactly. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, but I do have one quick question.
Yes.
With women no longer being able to advocate for themselves as far as abortions are concerned, I think that having doulas, midwives, people like Sis Village Doula, you know, a sister circle is going to be very necessary in order for women to bring forth these children that they may not have wanted to birth. Do you all have, or do they have doulas that help with women who may have wanted to terminate a pregnancy but now are being forced to have children?
Yes. Ooh, that's a loaded question too as well, right?
We're being forced now. We're being forced into situations
right.
that we never thought we would have to see again.
That's true. That's true. I'm glad you spoke about abortion, because there's a lot going on as it relates to that topic, right?
Yeah.
One thing I did want to share is there's different types of doulas. Abortion doulas. There are abortion doulas to help you navigate to your choices and options, and to provide you support with that too as well. So to answer your question, yes, there are abortion doulas. There are bereavement doulas. There are fertility doulas, postpartum doulas, birth doulas. There are even sex doulas too as well, right? I'm not a sex doula and I'm not an abortion doula, but those are different options, especially for those who are interested in doula work. You know, with your energy and your gifts, really looking and seeing what type of doula best served me and the gifts that I have. So thank you for that question.
Oh, of course, of course. I just know that we as women, we need each other, and we need a village, and I'm so glad that you are part of my village.
Oh, I love you.
I love you. I know. I was gonna shake your hand. I said, we deeper than that. We deeper than that. Oh my goodness. Think my little thing gonna come off. But
I hear my baby.
So before we wrap it up, put your Instagram out, how people can reach you.
Yes. And my beautiful baby here, I know I have my village niece back here. It truly takes a village, right? She's with my beautiful village baby. It truly takes a village. But to get in contact with me, all the social media platform is at Village Sis Doula. Also, my website is villagesisdoula.com, right? So once again, all my social media platforms is Village Sis Doula, and my website is villagesisdoula.com, and we would love to be part of your village to support you throughout your journey.
Well, thank you so much, Cassie.
Thank you.
I want to plug this book by Queen Afua, and I encourage all women to go out and purchase The Sacred Woman. This book has been an awesome tool for me to use with my daughters. I'm raising grown women now, and I still have one child that's under the age of 12. But it talks about everything: womb care, fertility, infertility, doulas, the type of medicines and things that you may need to take during your pregnancy that are from the earth, that's God-given. And I mean, I just found this book to be a beautiful learning tool. So if you have time and if you want to learn more about womanhood and being a sacred woman, pick up Sacred Woman. Till next time, thank you again for joining Her Talk. Talk soon. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sister,